Hey, what is up guys? So I got something pretty interesting to share with you guys today, and it is going to be a troll deck. I know some of you guys really like to troll around with it, Yu-Gi-Oh! And make your opponents pretty salty. Now this is using an old school card called Sword and Shield. Once we get into it, we'll go over the full effect, but it's pretty simple. You swap the attack and defense of the cards. And with the Vehicle Roid base, you can actually do stupid amounts of damage OTK. We're talking 10,000 plus damage, easy. Because the Vehicle Roid, the mobile base, can actually bring out another copy of itself. But turn 1 in this deck, you don't have that many options other than to go for a Drancia and stall. Because turn 1, you can't really attack, and on top of that, you have to have your opponent have a target on board. Now this guy goes for a pretty cool play over here, going for Dark Hole, destroying his own card and destroying everything out on the board. Then he goes ahead and goes for an Oviraptor, and then he's going to go for a Tyranno. And then he still has the Miscelosaurus in his hand if anything would go wrong. But, of course, this is a Vehicle Roid troll deck, so a Sword and Shield swap, really old school card like I mentioned before. Anyways, he's going to go ahead and flip it face down, but he's going to activate the connection. And like I said, Vehicle Roid mobile base can actually bring another copy of itself, which is actually really dirty. He went for the refusion over there. Left arm offering, going for the Sword and Shield because it's game already. But he's going to go ahead and attack, deal a bunch of damage. Oh wait, it's not game. Oh, Sight Gustav Max is a thing. So he's going to burn his opponent for some extra damage there. Really cheeky stuff. So we got some more replays against a few different decks. CyberDragon's a pretty decent little deck to deal with. Vehicle Roid's actually interesting matchup because since they would all be the machines, you could actually fusion with them for the whole Cyber or Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. But it's not going to matter. He's not going to have that opportunity. He doesn't want to summon anything because he doesn't want to lose anything. He's got the Max C to potentially protect himself. His opponent doesn't have game. I mean, the CyberDragon definitely is a deck that can OTK, but he gets the Lone Fire Blossom, so he's going to go ahead and make his big play right now. The reason why, guys, he probably didn't want to make a play with, like, you know, just setting stuff and passing is he wants those extra cards in his hand. He wants to go in, going big. I mean, limiter removal will do, we're talking 20,000 plus points of damage on board because, of course, the double Vehicle Roid will be, they're going to be 10,000 each, and then, of course, Gustav Max will burn them for an extra set of life points at the main phase 2. For an extra 2,000. So it's again pretty standard little Dagusta Emerald play over here that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the whole Drancia. Going for the Vehicle Connection, Polymerization activated, going to bring back Norden going to bring back Express Roid, and then he's going to go for Emerald, recycle, get some extra free draw potential here. He's going to go ahead and then copy the effect of, or he's going to get another mobile base out because he is going to target a monster that is face up and then special summon a monster from his extra, which can be the same thing. I think that they kind of done goofed with that, Konami. I mean, I guess they didn't expect the Sword and Shield, and this is the card that runs everything, guys. It is Sword and Shield. You switch the original attack and defense of all face-up monsters currently on the field until the end phase. So I like it. I mean, it probably is going to get more support. At least I feel like the Vehicle Roids, they need more of the small monsters to really make the deck more viable. Some of the fusions are actually okay that we have, but like I said, pretty cool stuff. And it seems like everyone is playing this Predator Plant engine right now because it's so dang good. Until like Instant Fusion gets banned, I think people are going to be abusing it till the end of days. Same thing with the whole like Invoker abusing the rat plays. But we got the Dagusto Emerald here. He still has one defense mode turn 1, so it can be an okay play just because this has the potential to not be able to be destroyed because of the Vehicle Roid connection. This card is really dirty. And then on top of that, if your opponent has anything on board, you just go ahead and stall for a little bit with this card until you get the Sword and Shield. You activate it and you just are able to attack over things. Really dirty stuff over here. Looks like this is, I guess this is the deck. We got the mirror match going on here. Sometimes when something gets played, people really like to see it, and I feel like this could be a deck just because it's something new. You know, we haven't seen Sword and Shield in so long. I'm pretty sure that card was probably used in the anime. You know, Ash Ketchum was really strong with that card. But yeah, it is definitely a cheesy, trollsy deck. We got the Sword and Shield swap, but it was in defense mode, so rip Mary, Land, Wolves, Maglucius. You made a really cool deck, man. But anyways, I know some of you guys want the deck profile and you guys want to check it out, so I'm going to give it to you guys and you guys can mess around with the deck. So keep in mind this is more so of a troll deck than I would say a competitive deck, but I think it's still fun. You know, I enjoy seeing people try out new things in the game. for the most part, it's a pretty simple concept. You Via-Core connection or poly, and then you just bust out this guy to bust out another one, and you try to get that sword and shield. Now, sword and shield is at 3, not that it should be nerfed really anyways, but there's another card that can actually search out whatever you want in the deck. Whatever key combo piece you are missing, you just go left arm offering, and then you just go search out the missing combo piece for your play, or you can sack them with the limiter removal. But anyways, let's go and jump right into the deck profile. So, oh, interesting thing. I don't know if I mentioned this already. I think I'm pretty sure I actually mentioned this in a previous video. But the speed roids actually count as a roid monster. You don't have to play these guys. These guys aren't very good. I almost recommend running the other roid monsters, the speed roid monsters, just because these guys, they're just really not the best. The only one that I can consider like possibly good is the express roid, because when it's summoned, you get to target 2 roid monsters in your graveyard and add them to your hand. The only problem with that is if you control no monsters, you could special summon Terratop, which makes Terratop good. If maybe this card was like you would you discard it, go for 2. I don't know, but I just feel like it's kind of counter synergy. But he still has one of the best effects. The Roid, not the greatest. Anyways, so we got Truck Roid over here. So this one destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sent to the grave, and you can equip the destroyed monster. Wow, but it's probably not going to be relevant because it only has 1,000 attack, but it does gain attack equal to the combined attack of the monsters equipped to by this effect, but it's not realistic to get this effect off. Next up, we have the Shuttle Roid. This one can burn your opponent because sometimes you might be just short of gaming your opponent, so maybe this card can come in handy. It's just probably there because why not? Because I've seen a lot of these Roid decks that try to bust out the new mobile base, and there really isn't any good targets. Again, the only good one I think is Express Roid. But next up, we got 2 copies of the Rat Pier for your plays to make the first turn at Drancia. Just again, Drancia and the Emerald is very common, just to kind of stall. And on top of that, again, this deck can't really do anything really powerful turn 1 other than that play. Next up, we have the 3 copies of the Predator Plant Scorpio, and then we have 2 copies of the Terratop, again, kind of just to bring out the Invoker, and then Invoker, of course, brings out the Rat, which allows you to make the other plays. And then next up, we have the Darling Cobra, which lets you add any of the fusion spell cards from your deck to your hand. And then we have the Takum Tomborg, so when you special summon the Terratop, you were able to add the Speed Roid monster, and you go for a Takum Tomborg, and then you special summon it. And then you go for the Invoker. And then next up we have Lone Fire, which can then go for your Scorpio, and therefore extending your plays. Pretty self-explanatory. Next up we have 1 copy of Max C, because you can only play 1. And then we have the Lunalight Black Sheep. So this one lets you, pretty much we're just using it for the second effect, which is to discard this card, and then you add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. And then we have Instant Fusion to go for the 1 pair Psychroid. This guy is the guy that you want out on the board because he's the fusion that you will actually require to have to actually bring out the Super Via-Croid mobile base, which is the Roid monster and the Roid Fusion monster. Next up, we have 3 copies of Via-Croid Connection. So this is the card that you guys are going to be using to pretty much bring out this most of the time. But it has also a bonus effect where the fusion monster special summoned by this card cannot be destroyed by the effects of spells, traps, and effect monsters, and its effects cannot be negated. So they can't actually stop you from bringing out another one, which is really, really powerful because it's going to have 5,000 attack. Then we got 2 copies of Polymerization, 1 copy of 1 Day of Peace, and this card allows you to have both players draw a card. It's basically a stall card because even if you give your opponent an extra turn, it's not going to matter because you only need 1 turn to finish off your opponent anyways. And again, remember that the card cannot be destroyed, and on top of that, its effect can't be negated. So you're pretty safe on the majority of the stuff. I know someone about, what if you had Battle Fader? Okay, most decks don't play Battle Fader anyways, but it's a relatively safe play. Anyways, next up we got 2 copies of Pot of Desires. I would go for 3 because this is a pretty cheesy deck, so if you want to swap that in, feel free to go ahead and do so. And then we got 3 copies of Sword and Shield, which is basically what makes this really trollsy deck possible. Troll Trains? I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a train, right? Is it a shuttle? I don't know. Anyways, all that really matters is we got Sword and Shield in 2017. People using it. Like I said, there's 2 people playing it, which is, I thought was hilarious. Then we have the Upstart. Honestly, you guys can cut this if you would like to. I know sometimes you can be short. Depending on the attack points of a certain monster, you might not be able to make a game, but most of the time you should be able to finish them off anyways. But someone's going to be like, oh, why are you playing the Upstart when you need an OTK? I'm pretty sure this deck will be okay with that, but you guys can feel free to make suggestions. Then we have Fusion Substitute to count as Poly, and then you can actually banish a card from the graveyard, target a fusion monster in graveyard, and return to the deck. So even if you're only playing one Norden, you got multiple anyways. Then we have 3 copies of Left Arm Offering, go for the combo piece. Then we got Limit Roller to be extra cheeky, and then a Refusion over here. As far as the extra deck goes, the most important one is the mobile base. Bringing out multiple of those means game. But there's also Barboroid, the ultimate battle machine, and this one it requires 5 Roid monsters, but you're not going to bring it out during that effect. You're just going to bring it out with this. Very rarely will your opponent have something with 4,000 and probably not game you, unless, of course, 1 day piece is in effect. Or maybe you swarm the board, you got the Dueling CA, you swarm the board with monsters that were supposed to stall, they negated them, whatever. And somehow they don't make a game. I guess you guys got that. This card is really important too. Oh, Parasark card pretty important, and Norden. Anyways, next up we got the number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Superior Dora, and then we got the Gustav Max. These cards are pretty important too. Then you get Ravenous Tarantula, 2 copies of Emerald, and then 1 copy of most of the Zodiacs in the extra deck. And then we got Invoker. So those are pretty standard little cards over there. I think the side deck over here that Mad Lucius was originally playing was cards he was considering trying out and stuff, but he just probably dropped them later on. But really cool, the Sword Swap Troll Trains is what I think are Vehicroids? Swap Troll Vehicroids. I think it's hilarious. Again, Sword and Shield, it's cool to see some of the cards that we remember from like the TV show and we got as kids, and seeing them, seeing some play, it's just kind of funny. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little cheesy OTK-ish deck. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Minecraft videos.